Hey guys, Texas De La Rosa here. I'm back with another video where I'm answering some questions given to me from friends about just life in general and all the things that involve in my wonderful world of permanent makeup, laser, and clients, and just all the crazy stuff. So again, I wanted to also thank everyone who is watching these videos, and if you've subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm doing these videos every Monday, so we'll be having different questions out. Different things. That was me looking at questions right now, so you heard that. And then, yeah, so we're going to be answering questions today. So I'm excited. I'm opening up some files here. One second. Hope everyone's having a wonderful week so far, too, as well. It is Monday, the 12th of December. Christmas is right around the corner, and man, I'm going to tell you, it has been, this month has flown by. It has absolutely flown by. So, okay, perfect. All right, cool. So, there we go. There it is. Where it is. There it is. Technical difficulties here trying to find this file. All right, sweet. Okay, now I found it. There you go. Okay, so I have a question. And again, guys, if you don't know who I am, again, my name is Texas De La Rosa. I am a laser professional here in Austin, Texas, and in Buda, Texas. I have been an educator for about 9 years now in laser. I also am an educator in permanent makeup. I also do permanent makeup, which is consists of like brows, eyes, lips, scalp pigmentation, areola restoration, scar restoration, that sort of thing. And then my school is Buda Cosmetic Institute, and we are located in Buda, Texas. So I teach everything that I do. And then also my Facebook group is Cosmetic Tattoo Professionals. And so if you're in the PMU world, or if you are in the laser world, you're more than welcome to join that group, Cosmetic Tattoo Professionals, on Facebook. And then we just try to help people get the answers they need and the things that they're looking for. If they're looking for education, if they're looking for just questions about their practice, all that kind of stuff. So, so I've got a question here that I asked someone, and this is kind of a fun one, and it might segue into some other things. And I know that a lot of these questions that people ask are questions that you guys may have asked yourselves, or run into this situation and maybe you've not known how to deal with a patient like this, or a client, or deal with a situation like this. And these are all my takes. Now, again, this is how I roll with things. I'm not telling anyone to do what I do, but this is how things work. So, okay, so this first question we're gonna answer today. It says here, hi, I know that you do laser, you do makeup, you do permanent makeup, all the things. What is your favorite thing to do? And then, do you have any crazy stories that involved any crazy clients in that said thing you do? Okay. So, yes. So again, I do makeup for film and television. I've worked with some crazy people, just really cool stuff. I've done some really crazy things in my career, and probably I would say, see, man, because I've done laser for so long. I honestly, when people ask me what's your favorite thing that you do, I don't think I have a favorite thing that I do. And I've said this before in other groups, that I don't do things I don't want to do. So if that just kind of shows you where I'm at in my world, I don't do things that I don't want to do. So if I'm doing it, it's because I love doing it. And I find that a lot of people, and especially in the permanent makeup world, or the laser world, or the cosmetics world, or the cosmetology, that sort of thing, skin world, people get too caught up on trying to make money. I think a lot of people want to go into these careers because they are a trade, and so you can go to school for under a couple of years, maybe for some of you, and get this, these trades where you can work and make really good money. But the thing is, a lot of people don't understand that you've got to love what you do to make it, to make it big, and to make it, quote unquote, successful in life. I always find that people that are really successful in their career, and the people that I look up to, and the people that I admire in the industry, are loving what they do. They love everything that they do. It's not I got to get up in the morning and go do this job. It's not oh my God, I got another freaking client. I got another thing. It's not like that with me either. Granted, don't get me wrong, we all have our clients that sometimes stress us out, and situations that stress us out in our life. But as far as with me, I don't know if I have a favorite because I love everything that I do. And I really do. And I know that sounds super kind of cliche and funny and it's like, oh gosh, he's just making that up. But it's really true, guys. I actually really do love what I do. For instance, I had a recent situation where I started realizing that I was doing some things that I wasn't really caring for anymore. And so I closed my books on those services. And I told my boss about that, and I was like, hey, I don't really want to do these anymore. So let's take the online booking off of my services at the spa that I work at. And let's just give those to the new people, or someone that really wants to do that. Because again, it's just not something that I was really kind of loving doing anymore. And so yeah, so I mean, I'm kind of at that point in my career. And I know that a lot of times when you're first starting out, you don't really know what you love yet because you're brand new. If you're a brand new artist, maybe you've just started doing brows or lips or whatever. And you don't really, know what you want to do. And you don't really know. I always say this, you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know if you're going to love it or not. And some of you get into these worlds where you're like, okay, yeah, I mean, I'm going to go make $800 a person and do this and work once a day. And then you realize, oh gosh, it's actually a lot harder than that. It's a lot more work. And then you find out maybe you don't love doing lip blushing anymore or brows, or maybe you really just want to stick with eyes or eyeliner, or maybe your grouping of your demographic of your clientele is really only brows only or something. And so you're like, well, if you don't love doing brows, well, then what are you doing? So it's kind of hard. I think that, yeah, I don't have a favorite anything because I love doing makeup. I love working on film sets. I love doing production work. I love being a part of a group of people doing something cool, and making something happen. And we are creating something. I'm a very creative person, so I love creating things. And so again, that's why I love doing all the permanent makeup as well, is because I love creating things. I love helping clients feel better about themselves. I mean, that's why I got into the industry, was to help people feel good about themselves. And then as far as like the laser stuff, I mean, that may not be so, it's some of it's, a lot of it's cosmetic too, but some of it is like they were saying, the removals and like laser hair removal and things like that. Like, it's not an instant gratification type of situation where like when you have a client that leaves with new brows and they're just like in love with their brows, or like, oh my God, my eyeliner is so good. Some of these clients that come in for like laser treatments and stuff like that, some of the skin treatments we do, don't see instant results, but then when they do see the result, that makes it so much better for me. I had a client that actually broke down and cried not too long ago because she's been with me now for 2 years with laser hair removal, and she was extremely self-conscious about her the laser happening with her face, because she was like, I kind of just didn't know where to go, and you were a nice person, and you made me feel good about myself, and you made me feel seen and heard, and and she had she had a lot of hair on her face, and she said that was kind of a debilitating thing for her, that she had to wear all this makeup, and she just felt insecure about it. And nobody wants to feel that way, and nobody should live their life having to worry about what other people are thinking about them because of a physicality that they can't even control. I mean, that's not anything that you can control. I cannot control how my hair grows. If I could, I would have had this silver hair grow back brown, but it doesn't work like that. We're all human, and so many people are so mean and rude and so judgmental of people that have things that they can't even control themselves. And so for me to be able to help someone with laser hair removal, and how that has changed her perspective and how self-conscious she was, and how she's now confident about herself because of something like that, that to me is such a win. And it's so that, again, I love that. I love that feeling, and I want that feeling for my clients. And so again, I don't have a favorite, I guess, but I would say advice to you. You didn't ask for advice, but if you're wanting some advice, I'll throw this out there. Don't do something you don't want to do. I always tell my younger students, especially when they're brand new coming into the facilities and coming in and kind of new about stuff, find out what it is that you love. Find out what it is that you really love to do, and then that will be where you will start making money. I promise you, money comes to those that are happy. It is not chasing the dollar. It is actually making people happy, and then those people turning into repeat clients, and then telling their friends about you, and then that snowball effect happens, right? Where you start building your clientele, and that's how you really do build a clientele. And anyone that asks me how I built my business and how I built the little empire for myself that I've got now is through happy clients. And it's been my hard work and putting that my best into everything that I do and that I love. If I don't love it, I don't do it, that sort of thing. So there you go. All right, and then the second part of the question is, I hope that helps. I hope that answers, because I don't have a favorite. And then what's one of the craziest things that happened? Man, I have had some crazy things happen to me in my years of working in salons and spas and on film sets and crazy stuff, what's one of the craziest things that's happened to me? And even when in my bartending years, gosh, when I was bartending for so many years, man, I got stories. I got stories. And I've talked about some of the other stuff that have happened in other videos, but I'm going to try to think of one that no one's heard of. I would. All right, I'm going to start with the bar first. The bar first. That will be one of the first ones. Okay, because I had to think about this for a minute. One of the craziest situations that I had to deal with was dealing with the Andy Cohen and his lovely housewives. We had an event at the bar that I used to work at, and Andy Cohen used to come down for South by Southwest, and he would do his Bravo show and do all the stuff for South by South by Southwest, and that is a film and music festival that happens in March in Austin, Texas, and so we would host sometimes his events at the bar that I worked at and dealing with Andy and his group of people. That would probably be some of the craziest stuff. I have some stories about some of the housewives. I'm not going to say who. But one of the housewives got extremely wasted at one point and couldn't find the bathroom and then got lost and then couldn't find out how to get back to their VIP area. And so we had to help them get that stuff, get her back to her area. And that was a little crazy. And then dealing with some of the crew that got a little tipsy. That was a little bit fun. But Andy's a very nice guy, and he wasn't actually even there. He stayed at the party for just a split second and then rolled out. But I think dealing with Andy Cohen, that would have been probably one of the funniest things, or kind of one of the craziest things, because his crew was just wild, and those ladies and the people that are involved with the housewives, they're nuts. So so that's one. For the bar industry, we'll now we'll segue into makeup. I think one of the craziest things that happened to me would be working with, because I've done some really cool things in my makeup career. I would have to say probably one of the craziest things, and it's not even a crazy situation. It's just like a crazy thing for me because I was so like just shocked that this even happened. So I had a huge like crush on Ethan Hawke when I was younger, like when I was in high school and a teenager. I loved him in Dead Poet Society, with Robin Williams. I loved him in Reality Bites. I just thought he was so cool in the 90s and and just such a cool guy. And I just thought, man, if I could ever work with that dude. Well, years later, I worked with him a few years ago. His company contacted me and got a hold of me because of a press junket he was doing here for his new movie Blaze that he had directed, and his production company had parts in. And so he was down here doing some press for it, and they contacted me and asked me to come work with him for the week so that I could get him ready for his events, his press, and all that kind of stuff, and everything. And that was probably one of the coolest things that ever happened. Because again, like bucket list, right? You have these goals in your life, and I'm a goal setter, right? I always have like a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan and things that I want to do in my life. And when I want to meet someone, it's kind of funny how things just fall in your lap like that. And years later, I got to work with Ethan Hawke, and so he was really cool. He was a really cool dude. I got to dress him even because he was asking, help with his outfits and stuff. And so it was just really awesome. And then I got to work with him for a couple of days. It wasn't just like one day, it was like a couple of days. And that was a kind of, I think, one of my favorite people to work with in craziest moments because I just was so shocked that I got a chance to work with him. I loved him in Sinister. He was so good in Sinister, the scary movie, and I just thought he was so great in it. And was it Black Phone? I want to watch. I haven't got it, but I just got Peacock, so I'm gonna watch it because I know it's streaming on there. So yeah, but interesting that I got to work with him. I think that was probably one of the craziest things getting to work with him. I will throw out one more for makeup just because I know that is always something that people ask me. It's like, how is it like working with people? What was this person like? And and I will say this, I've been very lucky and blessed that I haven't worked with anyone in the makeup industry that has made me feel, I've worked with a couple of people that were not so nice. And then I will say this, I've worked with some people that actually had bad raps from, I guess, maybe situations, and they were quote unquote difficult to work with or whatever. And I never had those problems. Like I never had that problem at all. Like I had a couple of people, a couple of art, of really famous people that I've worked with that people were saying that, were a little difficult to work with and watch out and this sort of thing. And I never had that problem. In fact, I worked with them for years and never had that issue. So that was something, and I'll dive deeper into that one day in probably my podcast. So shameless plug, I have a podcast coming out soon too. But I mean, no, I don't have any crazy things. But I will say another favorite one was working with Kate Siegel. Kate Siegel, her husband is Mike Flanagan. They do The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor, and they had just had the Midnight Club, which sadly is not coming back for season 2. They are now they got canceled from Netflix, which I was so bummed about because that whole crew and cast were so good and the stories were so amazing, and I was so impressed with the writing and everything, and just that they took it from Christopher Pike's novels and books, and man, I was bummed about that. But I hear big things that he's moving over to Amazon, and so I hear that they're going to be doing stuff with that. So I'm sure Mike Flanagan's not done with us yet, but but I think they're done with Netflix. So that being said, but Kate Siegel is his wife, and I loved her in Hush. She was so great in that movie. If you haven't seen Hush, it's on Netflix too as well. But that's a great one. It's about a writer who is deaf and then gets stalked by this person, and all these crazy things happen. I don't want to ruin it for you, but it was a great film. And I got to work with her in LA back in 2019, and super cool because I am a horror film person. If people don't know that about me, I love scary movies. I love scary everything. I'm a huge Halloween fan. I got the jack-o'-lantern, tattoo on my arm. That's really, I'm all about it. And I have Halloween things out every year, everywhere year round. And I was so excited to get to work with her. And with a friend of mine who's a fantastic photographer. His name is Seth Comito. He met her at I want to say it was one of these fests or cons or something that he was at, and he met her, and then they just kind of I guess connected, and then he said he wanted to shoot her, and then it happened, and then I flew out to LA for one day, literally flew out for one day, shot at this amazing hotel, and then flew back the next morning. So that was it was a whirlwind. But when I went there, I wanted to do all the beauty stuff, because that's what you want. You want the beauty stuff that you can put in magazines and this and that, and they can use for press. But then I also wanted to bring some kind of crazy stuff like masks and fake blood and just crazy things. I had a whole entire huge luggage bag that was just full of crazy things, and it was the masks that are the clear ones, the old vintage Halloween masks. You get the clear ones that look really spooky, and so I can imagine if anyone was going through my bag in TSA, they probably were like, who the hell is this person, and should we red flag this? Is this guy trying to get someone? Because it probably looked like the purge was going through there or something. And so I brought this crazy bag because I just was like, maybe we can get her to do some fun kind of crazy makeup or something. And so she was really cool. So we got to meet her and hang out with her. And then she was like, I have until this time to do stuff. And then, it wound up being much longer. And she actually was cool, working with models and working in the editorial world all these years. It's so fun to work with actors too that get it. She just could turn into these characters and be this person that was a totally different person on screen, and it was just so interesting and so cool to see that turn in her eye and that turn in her demeanor as she was being this person that we were trying to portray and telling a story through this photograph. And it was so cool. So that was a lot of fun getting to work with her because she said yes to all the blood and things, and so I got to put my bloody handprint on a shower stall when the glass that's in there, and so she was in there. It was really beautiful. I'll probably cut to some pictures and put some pictures so you can see what they look like. But man, I'll move over so I can maybe do it right here. You can maybe do it right there. There's some pictures. But it was just amazing working with her. That was crazy. I mean, because I had no clue that she was gonna even be cool to do more. And then we went spending the entire day together, and then she went out with us and helped us, she helped me shop for Aaron to bring back him some stuff from LA because he couldn't come. And then it was just a really, really cool experience. So the fastest one day shoot I've done in forever, but it was so cool because got so much out of it. And so again, I'll post some pictures in here as well. So that was really cool. And then another crazy thing probably from the let's do the med spa situation. This one, you're all gonna probably understand. So I think probably one of the craziest things that we have to deal with at the spa, because we have a really good, loyal clientele at the spa that I work at, is some of the people that come in with like just crazy things like done. Like for instance, for this specific example, I'll talk about how this lady called and wanted to get removal for some eyeliner. And I've talked about this in one of my groups. I can't remember which one, but I've talked about it before, and it was really funny because this portrays to reviews and how. And so this lady left a really long review about how horrible we were at the spa because I wouldn't take her as a client. And honestly, I wouldn't take her because it was her attitude. Her attitude was so nasty on the phone, and so nasty even through the emails she was sending us. And she wanted me to remove her eyeliner for her. And I guess she tried to go to other places and they wouldn't help her. And so she was, I guess maybe she was like, "You're my last straw," but she wasn't being nice to me. And guys, I'm going to tell you, when you get to a certain point in your life, you just start, there's zero F's to give, man. I don't care anymore about people's, like, at her, her situation. If she was going to be rude to me before I even worked on her, I just could imagine how rude she was going to be if things didn't go her way. And removals are so unpredictable, and so I just didn't want to have her as a client. So I just told my boss, no, I was not with her. And then she got all mad and left this review, and I just thought it was super funny because when I read the review on Google, it was just this whole thing about how we wouldn't even take her, and that I thought he was the best, and this and that. And I was like, I am, but I don't want to take you. So that's the thing. It was your attitude that caused me to not want to deal with you because you're being nasty on the phone. I mean, you're here, you are reaching out to me to help you, and then you're being nasty on the phone. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit there, and I don't care about your money. I don't care about your money or your problem at that point. If you're going to be rude about things, then I don't deal with it. So, and I think that also comes with age too. I think when we get to a certain age, I'm 42 years old now, I don't deal with that kind of nonsense anymore. I just don't have it in my wheelhouse anymore. I don't want it. I don't need the negativity. I don't want it. And that's why I love my group, Cosmetic Tattoo Professionals, because we don't deal with drama like that. So, I just don't want drama in my life. And so I didn't want her. And so that was a really funny situation. And I found it funny because my boss was a little upset at first. And then I was like, girl, one review like that isn't going to kill us. So if you are out there and you get one bad review because you had that crazy client or whatever, don't stress about that. All the other good reviews that come through they're going to shine for you. And people are going to know that one person was the stick in the mud that was probably, already kind of not a happy person, as it were. I think people that are just ugly like that are just not happy in life, right? Don't we feel that way? I feel that way. I feel like they're just not happy in life, period. And so I kind of just want to bless them and move them along. But I don't have to be around it. I want to be around it. I don't have to be around your ugly, your negativity, all that. So yeah, that was kind of funny. So that's probably one of the craziest things we have to deal with is just people like that come in, and it's an entitlement situation. I think they feel entitled. And so many people feel that way nowadays, where they can just come in and treat people awfully because we are in a service, and because we are in a service industry, whether it's my makeup, whether it's laser, whether it's bartending, whether it was whatever, we're in a service. And I think people that come to people in the service industry sometimes can think that they can just treat us however they want and that we have to take it. Well, we don't. And I think that is hopefully that has been changing over the last few years. You've seen some crazy things. You remember that lady that threw that blender at that lady for her throwing the Happy Meal at people? People just have had enough. I mean, I would never throw anything at anyone, but I'm not going to say that I haven't thought about it, because let me tell you, sometimes people are crazy. So, I'm going to say, yeah, that right there. Oh, yeah. If you don't know, look it up. If you don't remember that, look it up. It was a couple of Halloweens ago. I actually dressed up as her for Halloween. Well, not her particularly, but I had a blender and I had a McDonald's hat that I made and an outfit, and everybody knew who I was. They were like, "Oh my God, you're so and so," and they were like, it was a really popular Halloween costume for me. But yeah, that happens, man. People are tired of getting treated like crap from their customers. So don't do it. You never know what a person's going through at that moment, and you could be that one person that could make someone's day. So when you're getting a service from someone, and this is my advice to clients, be nice to the people that are out there working on you. We work really hard. We have a lot of crazy things. We work crazy hours. We have people, we have clothes. I'm sorry, kids we have to take care of it. Sometimes families, dogs, things, life. So again, we're just real people too. So again, so treat us kindly and we will treat you kindly. That's how I always feel. But yeah, that would probably be one of the craziest groupings of things. So I hope that answered your question. And then I try to keep the videos down to 30 minutes. So I'm just going to answer a really quick one here. And so this one is going to be, let's see, what I just put it right here. Okay, so yeah, this one right here. Okay, so, hi Texas, how are you? Hope you're doing well. All right, so I'm a new artist. I have a client that's coming in tomorrow and I need help with mapping brows. I am taking 3 and 4 hours sometimes to get my mapping done, and it is killing my business because I can only do 1 to 2 people a day. And I'm trying to get quicker help. Okay. So this is pertaining to mapping brows. So if anyone's watching this that doesn't understand what that means, I'm going to explain it really quickly. Mapping brows is, so when we're tattooing the brows, we don't just draw it on and just draw on a brow and then tattoo over it, right? So there is actually some math involved. There's some geometry. There's tools that we use like calipers, and we use sometimes we'll use like the little rulers that go on the forehead and things, so that we can make sure that symmetry is perfect. Um, and I want to rephrase that, actually, not perfect, because we can't have perfect. I always tell everybody that there's no such thing as a perfect face, because again, we're working on something round. So it's not easy sometimes to make things where we have a muscle that's moving higher than the other side, or we have a skeletal situation where maybe the bone is different. And so now we've got one side that's more rounded than the other side. Maybe it's flatter. So we have to use tools to help us with that. And so sometimes that takes a long time. I just had a student this last weekend who I taught one of my methods of doing mapping, and it took 5 minutes. And that's what it takes me for nearly every single person. So what I'm going to tell you is I have some videos coming out pretty soon with BCI. This isn't a shameless plug, but it is kind of a plug. Beauty Cosmetic Institute, that's my school. We have decided we're going to start filming some stuff, and I'm going to have a mapping seminar, and it's going to show multiple ways to map, because I'm going to tell you, your client that's sitting there for 3 and 4 hours is not wanting to be there. I promise you. I mean, I have gotten full on like tattoos all over my arm for 5 hours, 4 hours. So if you're just not even touching them with their needles, you're not even getting the tattoo done in a 4 hour window, and you're only just mapping. It's entirely too long. It's entirely too long. So it doesn't say here, it just says new artist. What I would recommend, and I recommend this always, is go back to your trainer. Who did you just take your training with? It wasn't with me, because I know my students, but that's okay. It's okay if you go somewhere else. I can't teach everybody, but go back to your trainer. Go back to your trainer and ask for some help. I think that you need to ask for help, because this is something that shouldn't happen. Mapping at the most, I think, should take about 30 to 45 minutes. If you're taking longer than that, then something needs to happen in your world where you need to kind of bring that in, because I get it. If you're trying to get 3 clients in a day and you're taking 8 hours on 2 people, that's a long time. And then are you stressing yourself out? Are you not getting a lunch now because you're like running into your time? How are you even booking these people? Are you booking someone at 8 a.m. in the morning and then like working until like 12 and then taking another one at 1? Like, that sounds really, really weird to me. So, yeah, I think you should go back to your trainer. But know this, I will be announcing in my group, Cosmetic Tattoo Professionals, again, I always say it's CTP, that we are going to be doing some mapping seminars, and we'll have those for you to watch, and it's going to show you multiple people. And the cool thing about this is that it's going to be very different than what you've seen before. I don't want to say too much, because I don't want people to kind of run into it before me. But I got some really great ideas on what'll make it different and better for people. So I'm really excited about that. So if you're taking a really long time on mapping your brows or things like that, just know that I got some things coming. And then, my biggest advice to you now is to go back to your trainer and ask for some more hands-on. And then, that's really that's one of the biggest things I would do. If that trainer doesn't get back with you, because we sometimes know, I've been there, I've been with you guys, I've taken a class before and then never heard from that trainer ever again. They got my money. And then I emailed a couple of times and then nothing, crickets. So if that's happening to you and you don't have anyone getting back to you, message me again and tell me, hey, I went back to my trainer and I didn't get any help. And then we can work together through that. So just know that I'm here to help, and that's what I love doing. So we'll make it better for you. Again, I can map brows 5 minutes. Okay. Done. Done. I can do my eyes. I mean, most of my eye treatments are under 45 minutes. My lips, depending on how big the lips are, 'cause they didn't ask, but just so you, and you know, just depends on how big the lips are. And it depends on what kind of treatment I'm doing, whether I'm doing like a really lipstick look or a blush look. It can take a little bit longer, anywhere from, 1.5 hours to 2 hours. But again, if you have really small lips, then it can be a 45-minute treatment. So again, it just kind of depends. But I don't map my eyes and I don't map my lips. And that's because of the technique that I use. So I do lash enhancement, so I don't map. I know it sounds crazy. Everyone's always like, oh my God, you don't map. And I'm like, I know. And then with lips, I mean, we're really staying on that vermilion border when we're doing our permanent makeup on the lips. So we're not tattooing above into past the vermilion and, that sort of thing. So we don't overline, let's put it that way, like you can with makeup. So if you just stay in those parameters, then you really don't need to, and I never need to do that with any of my clients. I've been doing this for years this way, and it works. It doesn't work for everybody. So I'm not saying that my way is the only way to do it, but that's what works for me. So, okay, that is about 30 minutes. So, okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and roll out, but I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your holiday season. Again, it's the 1st of December in a couple of weeks. It's been the first couple of weeks of December, so I hope it's been good for you guys. I hope that you are all hanging out with your family and your friends, whoever that is that you want to be with for the holidays. And just know that I have another video coming out on Monday. So, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. If you have any questions about my group, Cosmetic Tattoo Professionals, go to Facebook. You can look us up. If you want to look at our school, it's Beauty Cosmetic Institute. And then you can always find all that information also on my website, which is texasdelarosa.com. So if you want to get a hold of me there, you can get a hold of me through texasdelarosa.com, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. And please leave comments down below. If you have any comments about anything or this video, or if you have other questions you want me to answer, let me know, because I love it. This is what I do. It's an Ask Me Anything day. So there we go. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys very soon for the next video. Bye.